Player 2 has joined the game.
Hey, yo, what's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 131 of the Two Player Co-op Podcast. As always, I'm one of your hosts here, Kevin, along with my brother from my mother, Sean.
How we doing?
Good. Feels like we just recorded a podcast.
It does. I wore the same shirt 2
Me
weeks
too.
in a row.
It's weird. I forgot.
Embarrassing.
So the way the sausage gets made is actually right now, as you're watching this, I'm over in Poland for work. We didn't want to miss a week. Obviously, there's no way to do a news show when we're missing, when we're not doing it, in a timely fashion. So we're going to do an evergreen topic, and I'm very excited for that, if you couldn't tell by the title of the video/podcast. But first, if this is the first time you're seeing us, this is the Two Player Co-op Podcast, where we get together every week. Two brothers get together. They talk about video games and everything they love about them and all that other stuff. If this is the first time you're seeing us or listening to us, please go over to youtube.com/2playercoop. Hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell button so you get notified anytime we post a video. It would mean the world to us. If you want to get some Two-Player Co-op merch, you can go to teespring.com/stores/2playercoop. We also have a Twitch channel at twitch.tv/2playercoop. Go there for whenever we do, stream and stuff. We don't do it a lot, but when we do, it's fun. So typically we go into the whole thing and we start saying, what have you been playing, blah, blah, blah. Well, since we literally just stopped recording last week's episode 5 minutes ago, we haven't played anything else.
Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, he's still playing Kingdom Hearts. So the reason we want the topic we want to do this week, if you couldn't tell by the topic of the video or the audio podcast that you clicked on, is we're going to try to answer the question that gets brought up a lot, and that is, what was the best year ever for video games? A lot of people just they say 98 or 2015 or 1985 or 97, whatever. But so what I want to do is just try to actually, in our minds, figure out what was the best year for video games.
I like it.
I'm excited. So what we're doing for this, we are going by U.S. release dates because it gets too confusing if you're like, well, this came out in Japan this year, and it should count even though it didn't come out in the U.S. till like 2 years later. It's too confusing. So we're going to go by U.S. release dates, and we're going to go by the original release of a game. So like if StarCraft came out on the PC in 95, but it came to the N64 in 97, I'm just making stuff up, we wouldn't count StarCraft for 1997 because the game itself, the actual game, was that Buddy?
I think so.
Dependent, irrespective of the console, came out in a certain year. So if that makes any sense, I hope it does.
I'm with you.
So we're not going to go through every year, but there's some years. I tried to nail down the biggest ones. This was a lot of research. I tried to nail the biggest years, and we're going to go through them. We're going to try to pick a winner. The first year I have written down, some people might say you should start at like 1980 or what was Pong, 72?
78? No,
because the Atari was 78.
Yeah, 70, maybe 72,
Maybe
73,
72,
74, somewhere in there.
But I'm going to start with the year that if this year didn't happen, the world would have ended. But
Then none of the other years would have happened.
And we wouldn't be here right now if 1985 didn't happen. There was the video game crash of 1983. Everybody was making consoles. Everybody was making games, but no one was buying them, and everything just crashed and burned. 1985 rolls around, and what system was released in limited quantities in test markets and stuff in the U.S., Sean?
The Nintendo Entertainment System.
So it was released like in New York, some other, maybe San Francisco, like big cities. It was just released there in toy stores and stuff. It didn't come out full bore until 1986, but it was officially released in 1985. Other games that came out in 1985, Sean, on the NES, Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt. We also got the Light Gun and Rob the Robot. PC had some big releases as well. Oregon Trail. I feel like this was not then, but it was because I looked it up. And where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? 1985.
Oregon Trail is like a weird thing where it seems like it never didn't exist.
Correct.
Like it seems like it should somehow outdate PCs.
Like 75 or something.
Exactly.
Atari, the big release on Atari that year was Gauntlet, which we loved playing that game back at Uncle Pat's house on the Atari. Yeah. And the arcade saw the release of, what happened?
What did I just click on in the Word doc that launched Twitch?
Maybe you click twitch.tv/2player co-op.
Oh, that's
maybe
probably-
it's not, but it doesn't look like it's a hyperlink.
No, I was just clicking it so my screen didn't go dead.
Weird.
Okay.
The arcade saw the release of Ghosts and Goblins and Gradius. Sean, what do you think about 1985? I don't know that it's the best year ever, but it was a damn important year, obviously.
It's very important. I mean, it launched the video game industry as we know it today. The NES and Super Mario Brothers alone make it at least in contention, I would say. But other than that, it's just kind of... I mean, everybody knows Oregon Trail.
Yeah.
Not really so much as a video game, but just as like a thing that you did
It's
in
just
school.
like an ever-present...
Right. I don't know. It's a good, strong start, I would say.
Good start. Next, let's skip a couple years ahead to 1987. This was the year we got our Nintendo Entertainment System from Santa Claus. We walked out. We saw it on the little table there. I was changed forever. Games that came out that year for the NES. The Legend of Zelda. Zeldra. What is Zeldra?
It's Beldra.
The Legend of Zelda. Oh, it's because I was looking at Metroid. That's what I did. The Legend of Zelda, Metroid, Castlevania, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, and the original Mega Man. That is a freaking crazy year for the NES.
Yeah.
Again, we're going by U.S. release dates. Zelda came out in 86 in Japan, I'm pretty sure. The arcade saw the release of Contra, Street Fighter 1. I just had to put in there because that's the year Street Fighter started. Not a good game at all, but if it didn't happen, we never would have got Street Fighter 2. Double Dragon 1, as well as R-Type. For some reason, I don't think of R-Type as an arcade game. I think of it as just a console game, a console shooter.
Now,
game.
which one is R-Type?
It's a side-scrolling shooter, like you
What's
and Squadron
the one?
and stuff.
Oh, Xevious. I'm thinking of
Xevious was freaking awesome.
where
That
you
was
shoot and then you can also drop the
bombs on them, and you had to like get the arc right and stuff.
All right, I don't think I can really picture R-Type, but all those games kind of blend together for me.
The MSX saw the release of a very important game for me, Metal Gear.
Metal Gear.
And PC got the release of Maniac Mansion. What do you think about 1987 compared to 1985?
I mean, you look at these games, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, sadly not quite 6. You have at least 5 franchises that are still around 32 years later.
Oh, were you saying sadly Metal Gear?
Yeah. Like Zeldra, still around.
I don't know how I did that.
Metroid, still around. Castlevania, I mean, kind of, sort of.
At least they're doing the Legacy Collection. That gives me hope.
Mega Man, still around, or around again.
Yep.
Street Fighter, still around. Contra, not really. But I wouldn't be
Again.
surprised if that...
Yep.
I think that'll make a comeback. Metal Gear, kind of, sort of.
Don't say it.
Your
Don't say
Game of the Year, Metal
Survive.
Gear Survive. That is a murderer's row, if not of games, of at least franchises.
Yeah. Of
Obviously,
IP.
Street Fighter, not very good.
Right.
Mega Man, probably, I mean, good,
but it doesn't
one of the
compare
worst of the
to-
series,
yeah.
but, I mean, it started it. Castlevania, not the best, but far from the worst. Metroid, same thing there. Well, I don't know. It might be the worst Metroid game, but that's nothing against it. It just wasn't. It's like we weren't really ready for Metroid, I don't think.
It without a map, you cannot
Yeah.
play a Metroid game without a map.
Exactly.
It's just damn near impossible.
And then Zelda, what more can you say about that? And, I mean, Metal Gear. Obviously, Metal Gear back then was nothing like we know it now,
Right.
but God, I mean, that's...
The game was so important that they tied up a big loose end in it 29 years later.
Yeah. I don't know. That's a lot of games there.
So do we agree that if we compare just the first 2 years on this list, 87 is ahead of 85?
Yeah.
I mean, you've got Mario, but then 87.
But it
you've
drops
got-
off after that. You got
Yeah.
Zelda, Metroid, Castlevania. Yeah.
Did we ever play Contra in the arcade?
I've never played it.
I don't think so. I don't think I have
Nope.
either, is what I meant to say. All right, so 1987 is currently in the lead for best game year ever. Next up, 1989. I'm not just going to go every other year, but this is just how it worked out. It was a big year for console / portable / whatever hardware releases you want to call it. 1989 saw the release of the Game Boy. 16-bit graphics got here with the Sega Genesis and the TurboGrafx 16, although I don't really think that was really 16-bit. I think it was like they called it 16-bit. Like you called the 32X 32-bit, yeah. And the Atari Lynx, the handheld Atari, that remember that thing you could like hold it this way and then you could flip it upside down, or you could do something to where the buttons were up here, but there were also buttons on the bottom. So if you want to flip it upside down and play left-handed to where you use I don't know why anybody would do this, use your right hand to the D-pad, you could use the buttons. It was something super weird like that. It was like
I feel like
1
I
and
remember
2 and you know what I mean? It was super weird.
Was that about the equivalent of like Game Gear?
Yeah.
Was that the only Atari handheld? I mean, besides
I
like
think so.
oh,
Yeah,
no, that wasn't Atari.
They did a hardware revision on it a few years later. I can't remember. So this might not be the one that we
wasn't it
think
huge?
of.
Wasn't like the size of like
It was like
the Nomad.
thick. Yeah,
kinda.
it was like you had to hold it like like this.
I don't remember the whole flipping thing, and I wouldn't have thought that preceded Game Gear.
Yeah, Game Gear was 19. I didn't write it down.
I think it was like 91, right? It wasn't
Yeah,
long
I didn't
after
write
the
it down.
Genesis.
Games released that year, obviously Tetris, because the Game Boy was released. But Tetris, that's the same year that it came out on the NES. For some reason, I thought it came out earlier on the NES than it did the Game Boy. But the NES saw Tetris, Mega Man 2, and Life is Like DuckTales. I'm not going to sing anymore. Game Boy also got Super Mario Land. PC saw the release of Sim City, which is still going strong today. What do you think about 1989, Sean? There's not a lot there.
It's a strong year, but I'd put it definitely behind 87.
It just comes down to is Super Mario enough to, you know what I mean, to put that year ahead, to put 85 ahead of it.
I would say the NES is bigger, better, more important than all four of those systems there combined. I think it's probably behind 85.
Yeah.
I mean, you got some kind of Mario Land is okay. I mean, to me, the big one here is Tetris.
Yeah. The funny thing is, if you notice there, I said that the Genesis came out this year, but I didn't list any Genesis games that were good.
Well,
because it was like, I mean, Altered Beast is like the slowest beat 'em up you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what else. Alex Kidd, I think they brought that over from the Master System to the Genesis when it released, I think, but nobody really cares about that game. So it's like, yeah, 16-bit graphics arrived, but they didn't really arrive for 2 more years.
Yeah. No, I'd say behind 85.
Okay. Next up, 1990. Now, a lot of these years are going to go in chronological order because when I went back, I was like, I have to include these. I'm not saying they're better than some of the other years, but they have to at least be mentioned because some of these years are freaking crazy. Like 1990. No hardware releases in the U.S., but for video games, it was crazy. The NES, we finally got 2 years later. We got Super Mario Brothers 3. A lot of people say the best game ever made, and I can't really argue with that. We also got Mega Man 3. Final Fantasy finally came to the U.S. See what I did there? And Dr. Mario came out as well. The MSX saw the release of Metal Gear 2. We also got on the NES, not a good game. We got Snake's Revenge, which was made without Kojima's input and is not a real Metal Gear game. It's not canon, all that other stuff. In the arcade, Pit Fighter was released, which was the first game with digitized graphics. They would pave the way for a certain game that came out a couple years after that. And PC gaming back then was freaking awesome. Secret of Monkey Island. Another game that I remember playing in school, in the computer labs and stuff. And I don't know why I was playing Secret of Monkey Island. And yeah. But like in high school, like 5 years later.
Yeah. Huh.
So you've got, for 1990, you've got arguably one of like the 5 best games ever made. I'm so worried that everybody's tweeting me about Shazam. By the time you're watching this, I've seen it. But I've got like Jose and Bartolotta and Ernie are going back and forth, and I'm like, oh my God, please. I know you've all seen it. I haven't yet. It's not like it's like just, Batman vs Superman when it comes to spoilers, but still, don't spoil it. So you've got one of the best top 5 games ever made in Mario 3. You've got what a lot of people think is the best Mega Man game. I think we both prefer 2 over 3, but I almost feel like maybe we're wrong about that. Dr. Mario started. Final Fantasy started here in the U.S. What do you think about 1990?
What's weird is, so obviously, yeah, like you said, Mario 3, one of the best games of all time. What's weird is, to me, it seems like Final Fantasy should be a bigger deal, at least to me.
Yeah.
But the game is not, I'm not going to say it's not good, but it's not, I don't think it's very good.
Yeah.
And what's weird, and I don't know if it's just because there's no, for the most part, there's not really true Final Fantasy sequels.
Yeah.
I don't look at that the same as I look at Zelda and Metroid and Castlevania and Mega Man and Contra and Street Fighter, because it launched the franchise, but they basically have nothing to do with one another. So I kind of look at that as kind of, yeah, it's the first Final Fantasy, but so what? It's the first game with that title, but
it's like Final Fantasy hit its stride with like 5 and 6 and then 7.
Right. Final Fantasy is no more related to Final Fantasy 6, whatever, than it is to like Chrono Trigger.
Yeah.
Or Octopath Traveler, for that matter. Like they have the same name, and that's it. So, this year stands out to me really for one reason only, and that's Mario 3.
Yeah.
Now, is that enough to put it over 89?
87.
Or sorry, 80. Oh, yeah, definitely not over 87. I'm just trying to figure out where.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Where it goes. It's definitely not over 87.
No, I agree. I think the one...
And not over 85 because it's the NES.
Yeah.
I would put it... I'd put it above 89. Mainly because
I would put it
Mario
above 89.
3.
I'd put it above... But then it also gets down to which is the better Mega Man game, 2 or 3.
See, you said 3. I feel like a lot of people seem to think it's 2.
Yeah.
But I kind of feel... In my head, I think it's 3.
3 added the slide?
I think 3 added the
charge shot.
I don't think
what
the
it
slide
was.
came in until 4.
4. You're right.
And a lot of people, like Mega Man purists, Colin may even be one of them, have the mindset that the charge shot killed Mega Man. And I don't see that. I don't not because so much of the fact that you can charge the weapon, but because of what else they did to the game.
Okay.
Because you can now charge up your weapon. It's like they don't like the new enemies that they put in there to make use of being able to charge your weapon. I think it's kind of what they're saying.
Kill them and stuff.
But to me, the game... I mean, Mega Man 2 is a fantastic game. But I think the charge shot was huge. I don't think, in the least bit, I don't think that takes away from the game. So I think I prefer 3, but I think a lot of people also prefer 2. But it's... I mean, 1A, 1B.
But then I think if you're saying, so we obviously, Super Mario 3 is better than any game that came out in 89. If we do put Mega Man 3 over Mega Man 2, I think that puts 90 ahead of 89.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And Pit Fighter was not a good game. I put that in there because digitized graphics became a huge freaking deal, obviously.
I did not.
That's
a good
90s.
Did you know? I did not know that Pit Fighter was the
that.
first one.
I didn't know that either until I was researching it. You would have thought the hologram cowboy game.
Now, see, that's another one that I don't think...
I never played it in the arcades. No,
I don't even know if I knew it existed.
I remember seeing it at the bowling alley because that's when I was still bowling, was in 1990.
I feel like I didn't see Pit Fighter, the arcade game, not actually see the arcade cabinet, but see gameplay of it until many years. And I'm talking many, like maybe a decade or possibly multiple decades, like many, many, many years after.
I don't think it would be multiple decades because that's really pushing it. No, but I do.
Okay,
remember
maybe not
seeing
multiple, but it may have been a decade.
Yeah, I do.
Before I finally was like, this game, like the way it's supposed to look, it looks like a good game.
The sprites are
the
huge
Genesis
on the
I'm
screen.
Like,
on the Genesis, it's like they're just short and little blocky.
It looks more like digitized Double Dragon or something. Like, it doesn't look like a fighting game. It looks more like it should be a beat 'em up with these little tiny guys. But
I like the concept of Pit Fighter. It's just that it didn't have much for controls and stuff. But I like the concept of that kind of fighting game. I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
And we bought it on the Genesis. We played the crap out of it. But yeah, I don't know. I remember,
didn't I get that for my birthday?
You did. You're right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
God. But why did I ask for that? That reeks of you telling me to ask for it. Because I swear I don't even remember that game being a thing until I had it on the Genesis. I don't know why I would have ever thought to ask for that game.
It might have just been because it was the whole digitized graphics. Like, this is so cool.
Maybe,
it's like real people.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going 90 over 89.
All right. Next up, oh boy. 1991. Hardware releases saw, I edited the document, the Super Nintendo and the Game Gear. There were no notable releases for the Game Gear, and there weren't many for its whole lifespan. SNES in America, we saw the release of, again, a year later, Super Mario World. God, just perfect. Absolutely perfect game. And Super Castlevania 4. The Genesis, of course, got Sonic the Hedgehog. We also got Road Rash that year. The arcade, 1991 was when it all started. Well, it didn't start because it's the sequel, but you know what I mean. Street Fighter II hit arcades in 1991. Probably the most important arcade game ever made, I would say. Game Boy got Metroid 2. I don't really know if that's a good game at the time, but looking back, how much I love Samus Returns, it makes me think of it. I mean, they completely changed it. I know that.
Yeah.
But NES, we got Super Tecmo Bowl, and PC got Another World / Out of This World. So 91 was when the console wars really officially started with the release of the Super Nintendo, Sonic coming out, all the marketing, all that other stuff. This is the first real big contender, I think, to dethrone 1987. But what do you think? When you factor in Street Fighter 2, you factor in Sonic came out. It's not the best Sonic game, I know that. Mario World, best Mario game. It's either that or 3. I think we both kind of changed. I used to think it was 3 until we did Mario.
I think we both
and then I switched to World.
It's World.
And Super Castlevania 4 was awesome.
When we did our, I don't know if we just talked about this on an episode or if this was a dedicated episode, but when we've talked in the past about best system ever, I think we had a dedicated episode. I don't know what you said, or I don't know if we agreed or if we each had our own. I feel like I said the Super Nintendo is the best system.
I agree.
Ever. And if it's not, prisoner of the moment, but it's probably PS4.
It's a PS4 is right behind it, I think. Yeah.
But I think it's the Super Nintendo. And then you've got Mario World, the best Mario game ever, in my opinion. Probably straight up the best platformer ever.
Yes.
Street Fighter 2, not the best fighting game ever, but really you can basically ignore Street Fighter 1 from 87.
Yes, you should.
Street Fighter 2 is kind of what started fighting games as we know them today.
And it still holds up. You can play, like when I played Street Fighter 2, like when we did it for our stream and when I've played it just on the 30th anniversary collection, yes, it doesn't have the speed of Turbo and all that other stuff, and it's just 8 characters, but it still holds up. It's still completely playable now.
Right.
It's still so much fun. That game is still fantastic.
Yeah. And then I don't remember so much what the difference is between like Tecmo Bowl and Super Tecmo Bowl, and which is the one that I feel like they're more or less identical.
Yeah.
Maybe with slightly different like cutscene things, but like Tecmo Bowl in general, whether you're talking NES or SNES, is like
amazing.
People that were born way after those games came out still know about those games. Like, I think we have a new champion.
I think we do too.
I mean, the Super Nintendo, like I said, I think it's quite arguably the best system ever. You've got the best platformer, the best Mario game ever. I skipped right over Sonic. Not the best Sonic game, but I mean,
if it had a spin dash,
then maybe
it might have been until Sonic Mania. I love the levels in that. I love the music. I love the boss designs. I just wish I had a spin dash. That's the only thing that keeps that game from being one of my true favorite Sonic games.
And in the grand scheme of things, not a big, well-known game, but I freaking love Another World.
Mm-hmm.
It is so... Something about just the presentation and the gameplay of that. It's always like struck a chord with me, and I don't know why, but...
I mean, it's haunting.
Yeah, there's something about it that it's just kind of off-putting. Like, it's just... it doesn't like...
Well, it's because you're in another world.
Yeah.
Like it's Another World, I think, is the right name for that game, not Out of This World.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I've come around on that. I remember when I always thought it was Out of This World.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, it used to be Another World? That's
right.
stupid. But now I've kind of come around, and nah, it's Another World.
Yep. We have a new champ.
I think we do.
1991 takes the lead. I agree. Let's get to 1992. The hits keep on coming. The only hardware release of note was the Sega CD. I don't really know that you would say it was of note, but it did come out that year. The arcades. What a time to be alive. 92 and 93 were freaking crazy. 1992 saw the release of Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter II Champion Edition, Street Fighter II Hyper Fighting, Art of Fighting, Fatal Fury 2, which it seems like that was like 94 or something in my mind, and Virtua Racing, which was the first Sega M2 polygon game, and that a lot of people say that paved the way for polygonal games and everything. Sega was really, again, they didn't come out on top of the console wars, and they're not even a console maker anymore, but well, I guess technically they are now. They pioneered a lot of stuff. So great time to be an arcade fan. You had my second favorite game of all time come out, A Link to the Past. Super Mario Kart also came out on the Super Nintendo that year. Genesis got Sonic 2. That was Sonic Tuesday, like we talked on a Did You Know a few episodes ago. That game started the whole worldwide release thing and like marketing to a release date instead of just sending them out to mom and pop shops and they're just there one day. NES was still going strong even a year after the Super Nintendo came out. Mega Man 4 and 5 came out that year. One came out in January, one came out in December.
Really?
Because the release dates were weird because they always came out to Japan first and then they had to localize them and all that other stuff. Game Boy got Super Mario Land 2, 6 Golden Coins, which is a great game. That's one of those that I keep meaning, like every time I hear it, I'm like, I need to fire that up on the Pi. I want to play through that game because that game is
I don't know
really
that I ever
good.
played. That's not Wario yet, right?
No,
or is that
was
Wario?
That's Wario, but he was the bad guy, but you still played his. That was Mario with the. Yeah.
But okay, so that's where Wario got to start.
And then
I don't know that I
Mario
ever
Land
played
3
that
was
one.
just Wario.
But that one looked like Mario 3, right?
Yes.
It didn't look like Mario Land.
It
Like,
actually looked better than Mario 3. I think the sprite work was better. It's on a green and black screen.
Yeah.
But the actual like Mario character looked fantastic in it. And then PC saw the release of Wolfenstein 3D and Flashback, one of our personal favorites from the Genesis. I like A Link to the Past better than Mario World. So right there, I'm like, my God, it's like it's perfect. I like Sonic 2 better than Sonic 1. Mega Man 4 and 5, I didn't play them enough to really have. Oh, I didn't even say, and Kirby came to the NES as well. I forgot to say that. I don't know. This is tough for me. Between 91 and 92, this is tough for me. A Link to the Past is better than Mario World. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Sonic 2.
I think it's my number 2 game. I don't remember where I put it.
It's my number 2.
But it's top 3 of all time for me.
Yeah. Sonic 2 is better than Sonic 1. The arcades were banging. Mortal Kombat came out. Street Fighter 2. That was when they were... You had console wars at home, and then you had the arcade wars between Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter of what was better and all this other stuff. Mortal Kombat, not the best Mortal Kombat game, but it started, obviously, a huge trend that's still going to this day. Mortal Kombat 11 is going to come out. Or I don't even know when this is going up. It might be out. I don't remember when it's coming out. I don't know. This one's tough for me.
Jeez.
It's going to get... This is tough. This is why I want to do a whole podcast on this, because it's like you can just say 98's the best year ever. But no, when you get into the weeds, there are some freaking crazy years.
I think 91 is still ahead.
Okay.
If
you had the release of the Super Nintendo.
Because of the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
You got some new Street Fighter 2s, and you've got Mortal Kombat, but I think those are all just kind of... They're all way less important than Street Fighter 2.
True.
So I still give Street Fighter 2 the edge there. Sonic 2, arguably the best Sonic game.
Pre-Mania.
I think it's...
That's what I'm saying. This is tough, dude.
It's behind 91, I think.
Okay.
Does it go ahead of 87?
Of 87?
I don't know. I think it's one back. I think
Okay.
it's third to me. What's currently behind 87? 89?
89.
89.
And then 85 because it was really just Mario. I think we should just keep track of the top three because otherwise you're going to get...
It's
going to
get
get
confusing.
cross-eyed. Yeah.
I think I would put 92 in third.
Okay, so we've got 91, 87, 92.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I think I'm okay with that. I think the release of the actual hardware of the Super Nintendo does, when I think about it, that should keep 91 ahead of 92.
Yeah.
Okay. 93. Speaking of great hardware releases, we got the Jaguar and the 3DO. You know what I forgot? 3 different people made the 3DO. And I didn't write them down, but it was Panasonic and 2 other companies. There was three versions of the 3DO. How freaking weird is that? Can you imagine if you could get a PlayStation from like an Apple PlayStation, a Sony PlayStation, and a Google PlayStation?
But were they identical?
No, they all look completely different.
No,
Same
but I mean,
hardware.
but they
same
guts. But
Yeah.
the box was
I think it was
different?
just the box. Yeah, I think it was just aesthetic. Am I saying that wrong?
Aesthetic.
Aesthetic. I don't know what I was saying. Aesthetic.
Aesthetic. That I did not know that. Did you know?
Did you
You're
know?
wasting all
I'm
sorts of
wasting
them on
all
this
my...
podcast.
Damn it. It was a great year for arcades as well. Mortal Kombat 2, Samurai Showdown, Ridge Racer. So now you're starting to see the 3D graphics really kicking in. Ridge Racer, Virtua Fighter, and NBA Jam.
Whew. That was the... Well, gosh. 91 to 93.
That was the heyday for arcades.
Yes.
And I actually, you know what?
Yeah.
I missed out on one of these years. I forgot to write Turtles in Time.
Oh, was that 91?
Let me check.
I don't think it changes anything, but
No, I don't
especially
think it's
'cause we've
good
already
enough to
got-
push it over the top. Yeah.
yeah.
So the NES got Kirby's Adventure. Game Boy got Link's Awakening. Super Nintendo got Secret of Mana. I don't know why I did that.
Mana.
Mario All-Stars, the greatest compilation ever released, and Star Fox. PC got Doom and Myst. Sega CD got Sonic CD. Gunstar Heroes, Aladdin, and Sonic Spinball. Yeah, I shouldn't have even put that in there. All came out on the Genesis. The Genesis got, let's strike that from the record. Aladdin and Gunstar Heroes. Gunstar Heroes right up there for number one or number 2 favorite Genesis games for me. I don't think this year is good enough to knock off 91.
No. I don't even know that it makes top 3.
No.
The big thing for me here is, well, gosh, it's the arcade.
Turtles in Time was 91, so it adds even more
So,
fire
even
to
more,
91. Okay,
So,
that was my bad.
the thing that jumps out at me here, big picture, is number 2. And that's the arcades. However, I think the 92 set of arcade games was
Yep.
probably better. Well, I don't know.
Mortal Kombat 2 is better than
Mortal
Mortal
Kombat.
Kombat. However, you had 2 Street Fighter 2s come out that year. They're both better than Samurai Showdown. Ridge Racer was fun. Virtua Fighter means a lot to us as Sega kids. NBA Jam
And then you got NBA
might be the
Jam.
most fun arcade game ever made.
Yeah.
Not the best, but the most fun. When we did our whole, if you could only order, if you
All right,
only
so
ordered one.
what's number 3 right now? 92?
92, 91, 91, 87, 92.
All right. I think the systems are a wash.
Yeah.
SNES was better in 92. Genesis probably takes 93.
Yeah.
NES was kind of falling off by this point. PC.
Doom and Myst. I prefer both of those. Well,
Yeah.
Flashback. You can't even compare Flashback. I prefer Doom to Wolfenstein. Flashback and Myst, you can't even compare them. It's,
Now, when you say Flashback, when did it come out on the Genesis?
I think in 93. But again, so I'm going by original.
I don't think so. Flashback was a PC game before Genesis.
PC and Amiga.
I don't think I remember that.
Yeah. We didn't play it on PC. We didn't play it on Genesis. That might have actually been 94. No, it must have been 93.
Jeez, I almost think 93. Gosh, I don't know. That's tough.
Or did I say Link's Awakening? I don't know if I said Link's Awakening.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's clearly number 3 at best. I'm just trying to think if it knocks 92 out.
A Link to the Past is tough.
That alone.
And Mario Kart, which...
Yeah, I think 92. Not that we're tracking, but I think 93 would be like 4th.
Yeah. So 91 still has the undisputed crown at this point.
Yeah. Yep.
Right. 94, I promise we're not going to do every year, but the 90s were... God, it was such a freaking great time to be a kid.
It sure was.
Gosh. All right, 94 when it comes to hardware releases. I don't know if this counts, but I put it anyways. Sega Channel. Sega 32X, Sega Nomad. Also, the Super Game Boy adapter came out for the Super Nintendo, and Neo Geo CD came out. I forget, did you know anybody that had a Neo Geo?
I definitely don't even think I knew that there was a Neo Geo CD.
Yeah, I remember it, but I remember the cartridge Neo Geo being a bigger deal.
Yeah. But no, I didn't know anybody that had one.
Because it cost like $1,000. It was literally like $1,000. The controllers, the games were like $400 or something. It was like you might as well just buy an arcade cabinet.
Something ridiculous.
In the arcades, we had the release of Super Street Fighter 2, Tekken, and Killer Instinct. Genesis, this was a baller ass year to be a Genesis kid. Sonic 3, Sonic and Knuckles, Earthworm Jim also came out on the Super Nintendo, and Castlevania Bloodlines. Dear God. That might be the best year for the Genesis ever.
Wow.
I think Crusader Senti came out that year too.
I think you're right.
You go through the rest of the list there and I'll look this up.
All right. What was that? Genesis?
Yep.
Super Nintendo, we got Mega Man X, Super Metroid, Donkey Kong Country,
94.
and Final Fantasy 3/6.
So add to the Genesis, yes, Crusader Senti also came out that year. That's the best year the Genesis ever had. This is going to be interesting now. Okay, continue.
NES, kind of the swan song year of the NES. Yep. We had Mega Man 6 and Wario's Woods. Now, was that like a puzzle game or something?
Think so.
What?
I remember it existing, but I'm pretty sure that we at least rented it. But again, by that time, we were well into the Genesis. Hell, we were into the 32X by then.
Right.
3DO got the release of Need for Speed. I didn't realize that came out first on the 3DO.
I did not know that.
Such a crappy system spanning a freaking series that's still alive today. I think it's still alive. PC got Doom 2. So remember when we were like...
I still couldn't tell you what Doom...
It looks exactly the same.
What did we have?
Final Doom.
Which is what, Doom 3, basically?
Yeah, but I think it was almost like Doom 2 1.5 remix or something divided by 2.
358 and a half days. Ooh, man.
Super Metroid, one of the best games ever made. Final Fantasy 6 / it was 3
also
when it came here. You know what? Actually, we shouldn't even count that. Well, no, because we're going by U.S. release dates. Never mind. Yeah. No, we count that there. That's when it came to the U.S. Donkey Kong Country, phenomenal game. You've 100%ed it like 17 times. The Genesis, do you agree with me that's the best year ever that the Genesis ever had? Sonic 3, Sonic and Knuckles, Earthworm Jim, Castlevania Bloodlines, and Crusader Senti. That is 1, 2. Those games are all on my... If I were to make a top 15 Genesis list, they're all there. Some of those Bloodlines... Sonic 3, I don't know how I would rank and Knuckles because that's weird. But Bloodlines, Crusader, Senti, and Sonic 3 are definitely in my top 10. I think Earthworm Jim might be 2 for the Genesis. It'd be close.
Yeah.
That's got to be the best year the Genesis ever had.
Yeah. This is kind of...
You weren't ready for this.
I think this is at least number 3. And it's purely... software driven.
Yes.
Sega Channel, 32X, Nomad, Game Boy adapter, and Neo Geo CD. Neo Geo. See, I went back to Geo.
You say GIF and you say Geo. I say GIF and Geo. That's interesting.
Neo Geo.
It's interesting.
I think I do say Neo Geo.
When I was a kid, I went back and forth, I'm pretty sure. But anyways, Super Street Fighter 2, it's whatever. Killer Instinct was super cool. I remember when that came out, I was like, I've never seen
I
anything
never really
like
got
this.
into that.
I didn't like playing it. I just like looking at it. I just
That was
thought it
kind of
looked
my
amazing.
thing too. Yeah.
Best year ever for the Genesis, but I don't think it knocks off 91.
No.
The Super Nintendo coming out, Mario World, Street Fighter 2 coming out, Turtles in Time. Now that we factor Turtles in Time in there also, that adds fuel to the fire. I might put this though, because of how strong the Genesis was. Yeah, it's no worse than 3 right now.
Right. Jeez.
That's a baller ass year, dude.
Does it take out 92?
92. So really, we're riding A Link to the Past at this point.
I was going to say 92 is mainly Link to the Past. 94, you've got Donkey Kong Country, which was huge.
Super Metroid was huge.
Super Metroid
Mega Man X was
still
huge.
holds up.
Yep.
Final Fantasy 3, 6 still holds up. Sonic 3, I think this is the new number 3.
Yeah.
You maybe could make an argument. Oh, God.
I almost put
Does
this
it go to number 2?
I almost put this too. What do we have 2 now? 92? Yeah.
This may be a number 2.
I mean, it's
87 gets a lot because of importance.
correct. But quality
Legend of
the
Zelda,
games,
fantastic game.
Yeah.
Metroid, not so much. Castlevania, good.
But 3 was
Mega
better.
Man, not quite there yet. Contra, well, that's an arcade.
Yeah.
Street Fighter, no, that's just kind of important. Metal Gear, more just important. I think we have a new number 2. I think
we do
92 is out.
I think so too.
94 goes up to number 2.
I'll allow it. That Genesis lineup there is insane.
Yeah, I mean,
And I think that's also the year I didn't count it because it came out in the arcades, but I think we also got Super Street Fighter 2 was 94. I'm 90% sure.
yeah.
And I think Mortal Kombat 3 we got that year also.
What's weird is everything after like Champion Edition, Street Fighter related, I no longer think of them as arcade games. I think of Super Street Fighter 2 as console. I don't even think of it as an arcade game.
Yeah, and I barely ever played. I don't know that I ever played Turbo. Well, I played Turbo in the arcades, but it wasn't very much.
Yeah.
And we never played it at home because we didn't have a 3DO. All right, we got a new number 2. I'll allow it. That Genesis year, I'm a
And
broken
that's
record
due
at
in
this point.
a
but
large
man.
part to the Genesis, I think.
Oh,
I
it's
mean, Super
all on
Nintendo's
the
no
Genesis.
slouch there.
Well, it's not
but-
all because of Metroid and Donkey Kong.
Yeah,
but
and
like,
Final Fantasy.
yeah.
But yeah, Genesis is very much responsible for that.
Next up, I'm
All
skipping.
right, so to recap,
yes, where are we at?
number 1 is currently 91, which was your Super Nintendo. Super Mario World, Super Castlevania 4, Sonic, Street Fighter 2 in the arcade. Those are kind of the big ones. 94 we just went over, and then number 3, so 94 is number 2. 87 is number 3. That was Legend of Zelda, Metroid, Castlevania, Mega Man, Contra in the arcade, Street Fighter 1 in the arcade, Metal Gear on the MSX. So top 3 right now, 91, 94, and 87.
We were so lucky to grow up when we did.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm skipping 95. There was not enough of note there. And we're going to 1996, which saw the release of the Nintendo 64. I like the name Ultra 64 better. I always thought that sounded so cool.
Yeah.
The N64, they only had like 2 games come out that year. One of them, though, was Super Mario 64. Super Nintendo continued trugging along with Super Mario RPG, Mega Man X3, Donkey Kong Country 3, and I had to throw this in for Sean, even though it never came out here, Terranigma.
Love that game.
No. This doesn't mean a lot to us, but if I'm going to try to be impartial, Game Boy got Pokemon Red and Green that year. Started the craze that is obviously still going to this freaking day.
Are you sure about that?
Yep.
It wasn't red and blue?
It said red and green. Was it red and blue?
I thought it was.
I think maybe blue was the third one. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. I just always think of Pokemon as red and green.
Well, that's
I mean,
like,
I was
well, thank
looking
you.
at that as I said. I think of it as red and blue, but it doesn't really matter one way or
Pokemon
another.
whatever came out that
Yeah.
year. Saturn got Nights into Dreams, such a freaking cool game, but it came with that weird ass controller. Like, that's how you came up with a 3D controller, this giant circle thing with like an analog up here, and then the buttons are such a weird controller. Personal favorite of ours, Area 51, came out. I just had to throw that in there just because. PlayStation 1, Resident Evil, Crash Bandicoot, and Tomb Raider. PC, freaking awesome year. Duke Nukem 3D, because it's time to kick ass and rank video games, and we're all out of video games.
But
no, I said that right. Final Doom. I was like, wait, I did that backwards. Final Doom, Quake, Command and Conquer, Red Alert, and Diablo. I don't know that this makes the top 3.
No, I don't think so.
This was heavily on the shoulders of Mario 64 if we were going to rank this high, and Pokemon. I mean, no matter our thoughts on it,
I think Pokemon is more important than good.
Yeah,
I mean, coming from a non-Pokemon fan, but I was never. Well, I won't say I was never, because back in the day I was, but I think Mario 64 is overrated. We kind of touched on this a little bit when we were doing. After we finished Odyssey, I'm just not a big fan of 3D Mario games in general. They're good, but Mario should just be 2D, side-scrolling platformer.
I agree.
Mario RPG, big one for me. I love Terranigma, but it didn't come out here.
Right.
But God, I love that game. It's so good.
I will play. That's what I need to play through.
You started it, right?
I started it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I finally got out of that, or I got that door open or whatever, and got out of the town.
Right.
Went through like the tower. I went through a couple of towers. I actually probably played it for like an hour and a half.
Okay.
I did get a little bit ways into that. Yeah.
Mega Man X3, I never played. I still say X1 is the best. But
Yeah.
I've only played, I think, 1, 2, and 3. Donkey Kong Country 3, good game, but 2's by far the best, I think.
And is 1 better than 3? Would you say?
I think a lot of people would say that. 1 was too, like, there wasn't enough to do. It was very just straightforward, and 3 added a lot of like fun, optional, collectible things that I like, but it gets a lot of hate for some reason.
Yeah.
I would say 2, 3, 1. Resident Evil, that's huge. Like you said, big year for PC. I mean, I was never a big PC gamer, but we had Duke Nukem, we had Final Doom, we had Command and Conquer Red Alert. I don't think it cracks the top 3.
I don't think so.
But it's
a
not
good
far
year.
out of there. Yeah.
It's a good year, but I agree. Now, this is when we get into the 2 years that a lot of people cite as being the best ever. 97, the N64 saw Mario Kart 64 come out, not our favorite. Star Fox 64, and 007 GoldenEye. PlayStation, Final Fantasy VII. Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Those are the two. That's the years. Those two games.
That's it.
And Mega Man X4 came out. I still want to go back and play those X games. I want to get the X collection. I just need it to drop in price. Super Nintendo, Harvest Moon, cult favorite. Everybody loves it. And Kirby's Dream Land 3 also came out. 97, if you're saying it's the best year ever, you're saying that because you think Final Fantasy VII and Symphony of the Night are the 2 best games ever made, which I'm not going to argue with that if you do. So it's how high do we rank 97 based on those 2 games, because that's what it comes down to. And GoldenEye is GoldenEye. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't hold up now, but if you take it as it was and as the times were back in 97, GoldenEye was freaking GoldenEye.
So yeah, it's mainly Final Fantasy VII, Symphony of the Night, and to a lesser extent, GoldenEye. I mean, everybody loves Mario Kart 64 for some reason. People look at that as like the Mario Kart game. I never saw it that way. But yeah, this is heavily Final Fantasy VII and Symphony of the Night. Are those 2 games enough to knock out
94.
Well, I was going to say 87. Does it even... Wait, what are our top 3? Yeah, 87 is number 3 right now.
Right.
So does it make the top 3? Did those 2
I'm going to rely on you.
upwards of 3 to 4 games knock out Zelda, Metroid, Castlevania?
I love Symphony of the Night. I don't think it's the best game ever made like a lot of people do. I appreciate it for what it is. I love the game. It's probably in my top 25 or 30 games of all time. Final Fantasy VII, I've played 20 minutes of it. I know it is what it is.
Well, here's the thing.
I completely rely on you for the ranking of this year.
I think this moves into third. Now, that being said, it's not all that important because it's about to get knocked out next year anyway. But I think 87 coasts a long way on just name power.
Okay.
Like I said, Zelda, great
agree.
game. Metroid, Castlevania, Mega Man, I think 87's out. I think you move 97 into third.
So we've got 91, 94, 97.
I don't know that it goes into second, but I would put it third.
I mean, personally for me, I would put it behind 94, but that's why I wanted to rely on you because you love those. You freaking love those two games. So
I just played through them again last year and had a blast playing through both of them again. I think 97 goes into third.
Okay.
But as I said,
it's about to get knocked out of the top
going to
three.
be very short-lived.
Because I think we might have a new number one here. 1998, the year that a lot of people say is the best year, period, ever for video games. Hardware, we've got the Game Boy Color 9 years after the Game Boy came out.
That blew my mind. I would have thought Game Boy Color was like 93.
I think you thought Game Boy Color and Super Game Boy were switched. Is what I think you thought.
Maybe,
but no, 98, why would they put that out on a Super Nintendo?
I don't know what I thought, but I did not think it was that late. I did not think the Game Boy Color came out after the N64. I would have thought Game Boy Color was 95 at the latest.
Yeah.
That blows my mind.
N64 saw a little game release called Ocarina of Time. Also on the N64 that year was Banjo-Kazooie and the first Mario Party where everybody tore holes in their right hand. The PlayStation had a little game come out called Metal Gear Solid. Another game came out that I have a lot more appreciation for after playing the remake, Resident Evil 2. The first Spyro game also came out on the PlayStation. PC saw a little game called Half-Life come out. And StarCraft and Rainbow Six. Game Boy had Pokemon Yellow and Link's Awakening DX. Now they did for the DX version, isn't that where they added an extra dungeon? They didn't just do color, it was an extra dungeon.
Yep.
And the arcades, I don't care about this game. I'm way too not coordinated to play it. Dance DDR came out in 98 as well. I think this is the new number one. Ocarina of Time, Metal Gear Solid, and Half-Life.
So Ocarina of Time,
your favorite
still
game.
my number one game of all time. Hot take, Banjo-Kazooie way better than...
Oh, wow.
Now, hold on.
Than 64?
Mario 64?
Yeah.
I was going to say way better than it gets credit for.
Okay.
But I do think it might be better than 64.
Really? I don't think I've ever actually
I would
played
put
Banjo.
Donkey Kong 64 in terms of those type of 3D platformers. For N64, for me, it's Donkey Kong, Banjo-Kazooie, maybe Banjo-Tooie. I don't know which one's
Which
better.
is which, yeah.
And then Mario 64 third.
Okay.
To me, Mario 64 didn't age well, and it's important. It started the whole thing, but
yeah. Wow. Shots fired. I like this.
Mario Party, another one that's just kind of,
Important.
it launched a whole.
Yeah.
I mean, God, 20 years later, there's been, 10, 11, 12 of them? Like, who knows?
Yeah, they had to drop the numbers because they made so many. That's why the new one last year was Super Mario Party.
The Mario Party. Metal Gear Solid.
The Nintendo.
What else can you say? Resident Evil 2, huge fan favorite enough to where people, they made a remake of it just this. Yeah. Was it this year?
It was this year.
It was just January. Half-Life, hello. StarCraft. I bet I've put more time into StarCraft than any other PC game ever, and I bet it's not even close. I don't know
what would be
what
next. Red Alert, maybe?
Yeah. But I played StarCraft so much online.
Oh, yeah,
Red
you
Alert,
did.
I played mostly by myself.
Yeah.
StarCraft,
That was your LAN parties and stuff too, right?
Yeah. God, I had so much fun with StarCraft, and I freaking loved Rainbow Six, the original, the first one, and then the sequel, whatever spinoff, Rogue.
One.
No, what was it called? Rogue something.
Rogue Agent.
Rogue. Maybe it wasn't even a Rogue. Rogue Spear.
Okay, that sounds familiar.
Which is basically Rainbow Six, but like,
Prettier.
I think it looked a little bit prettier and new areas and whatever. But I loved that game. I mean, this has to be number one now.
This is number one. This you can't. Arguably the best game ever made, the most important game ever made to me, and Half-Life. Like it's freaking Half-Life. This has to be number one.
Yeah. This has a combination of just awesome games, and then you've got some of those just good but not fantastic but very important games, like your Mario Party and your Resident Evil 2 and StarCraft. I mean, StarCraft is just a fantastic game, but Pokemon Yellow, couldn't tell you how it's different than red or green or blue or whatever
the colors are. Diamond, Pearl.
You get a Zelda game, which is always a nice bonus. Wasn't really anything new, but
it's number one.
This has to be number one.
As
at least
of
for
now.
now. I mean, it could.
Things could change. So we've got 98, 91, 94, I think.
98, 91, 94. Yeah.
Yeah, we have to put this number one. We have to. All right, now we're skipping ahead 3 years to 2001, the year the Xbox was released, as well as the GameCube and the Game Boy Advance. Xbox, of course, saw the release of Halo Combat Evolved. N64, you got Paper Mario, Dr. Mario 64. I don't know why. I guess I was just looking for
I don't think I knew
games to
that
put
was a
on
thing.
there. Mario Party 3. But however, the PlayStation 2 got Metal Gear Solid 2, Devil May Cry, GTA 3. Now, see, now things are getting interesting. SSX Tricky, super freaking fun game. Are you kidding me? Final Fantasy X. GameCube got Super Smash Melee and Luigi's Mansion. Oracle of Seasons and Ages came out on the Game Boy Color. This is tough. Halo's super important. Not the best Halo game, but actually the only one that I've played through from beginning to end. I played it on my PC, and I
but it's probably the most important one.
Yes.
Like Halo is like
Halo changed shooters. Period.
Yeah. Yes.
And then Halo 2 changed them again, actually, when it came out.
Yeah.
But you got Metal Gear Solid 2. Devil May Cry started. GTA 3 started the whole open world craze that we are still living through today, and the GTA craze and the Rockstar craze. The most important open world game ever made. Then you got Smash Melee, which I know a lot of people absolutely love. I've come around on Smash after I played it on Switch. But so I don't know where to rank which one and whatever. Luigi's Mansion, very weird game, but people love Luigi's Mansion. Yeah. I don't know. Metal Gear Solid 2, GTA 3, Halo, and the Xbox is what this year is.
Yeah. I can't speak too much to Halo, but obviously that carries a lot of weight. Plus just the Xbox in general.
Yep.
The release of the Xbox. Metal Gear Solid 2 and Final Fantasy X, two of my maybe top 10 games of all time. Certainly top 20, maybe top 15, somewhere in there. GTA 3.
More important than good.
Yes, that's one of those games.
GTA 3, I never actually played through it and beat it. It was just one of those games where
I don't think I've ever beaten
blow
a
up
GTA
everything.
game.
Really?
Because I get so just sidetracked and just sandboxing, and I don't play the single player game anymore. Oracle of Seasons and Ages. I played one of them. I don't even know if I beat it, honestly, but I've only even played one of them.
Okay.
Jeez. Okay. All right. It's not a new number one.
It's not one.
I don't even think it's a number two.
It doesn't
Is it a
top
number
94.
3?
Right. That's kind of what I'm thinking.
All right. 94 had no notable. I mean, it had a bunch of systems, but nothing main.
Yeah.
94 was really the strong Genesis year.
Yep.
Super Metroid, Donkey Kong Country, Final Fantasy.
God, that's still.
Now, maybe it was 95, and we skipped over it. Where was Chrono Trigger? I'm thinking that was probably 95.
I feel like that might have been 95. Let me check.
Jeez.
That's the other thing I should have said in the beginning. I might have missed some of these because I was going cross-eyed by looking through Wikipedia for all this time. Yeah, 95. Okay, good. I didn't miss that one.
So this is almost more quantity versus quality.
Yeah. And it's
94
also kinda,
being the quantity. I mean, more quality too. But like 2001 with Xbox and Halo
and Metal Gear and Final Fantasy X
and GTA. 94 was Sonic 3, Sonic and Knuckles, Earthworm Jim, Bloodlines, Super Metroid, Donkey Kong Country, Final Fantasy. Gosh.
I think I give a slight edge to 94.
I'm torn. This is really tough. I think I'm leaving 94 also.
Yeah.
I think
super
2001's
close.
a clear fourth.
Yeah.
But I think 94 stays in third.
Okay, so we've got 98, 91, 94,
Yeah.
01.
And then 01 would have been next.
Okay. 2004 is up next. Hardware. We saw the release of the Nintendo DS, the first dual screen hardware system. PS2. My favorite game of all time released. Metal Gear Solid 3. Def Jam Fight for New York. Did you play the Def Jam games? Oh my God, they were so fun. They were so fun. It was almost like it was basically like spiritual successor to the N64 wrestling games, but with rappers. And it was so, oh my God, I had so much fun playing that with Dane and everything. I had so much fun. GTA San Andreas came out and Gran Turismo 4. So we got GTA and GT came out that year. Halo 2 came out on the Xbox. Ninja Gaiden got rebooted into the super hard. It was almost like a Souls game before Souls games were things. And Fable came out on the Xbox as well. GameCube got the Twin Snakes remake. Metroid Prime 2. Zelda Four Swords Adventures. But 2004 is most notable for, as much as I would like to say it's notable for Metal Gear Solid 3, it's not. It's because Half-Life 2 came out. Also World of Warcraft. Also Sims 2. Doom 3 came out, but that wasn't that great. And the GBA got Metroid Zero Mission. So this year is Half-Life 2, Metal Gear Solid 3, GTA San Andreas, and Halo 2. This is getting, and Metroid Prime 2. This is getting tough.
Yeah, but it's also Half-Life 2, even though you can hate on it, World of Warcraft, which people are still playing today, 15 years later.
I do hate on it.
The Sims, another one of the, I mean, it's not even Sims 1, it's Sims 2, but, you know, that franchise is pretty important. I don't know. I don't think it's, I don't know that it gets in there. I love Zero Mission, but
yeah,
it's good.
Halo 2, Metal Gear Solid 3, Half-Life 2. Just saying that out loud, that's crazy.
I'm going to let you do this one. I feel like this is because you got Metal Gear Solid 3, you got San Andreas, which I don't know how much you played, but I think I literally... You beat it? Mm-hmm. Oh, then you played it. I don't know that I may not have even played it. I never owned it. Maybe I borrowed it or somebody.
Yeah,
Jason
I've still
or somebody
got it.
Came over. Like, it's possible I never played it. Yet your Halo 2, Half-Life 2. I think you played more than I did.
Oh my God, one of the best games ever made. Oh my God, it's so friggin' good. I think this is...
I'm going to let you do this one.
So where are we at now? We've got 98, 91, 94.
Yep.
I think this is the new number 3.
Yeah.
Between my favorite game of all time, Halo 2, a lot of people think possibly the best Halo game ever made. Metroid Prime 2, which I can't speak to that. I can't wait. They're put it on Switch. Come on. And Half-Life 2. And World of Warcraft, which I have to factor that in, whether I like it or not. You have to factor that in. And Half-Life 2 is better than Half-Life 1.
People are still playing World of Warcraft,
Yes.
and they're still paying to play it.
People are still obsessed with Half-Life. Freaking just give us a Half-Life 3. Count to 3, damn it.
Yeah. If this is it certainly belongs there, I would say.
I don't know that I could put it above 91. I think this is the new number 3. So we got 98, 91. I got to put 04 in there. This is a big year. Yeah, 98, 91, 04 right now. All right, moving on. The next year is 2007. PlayStation 3. We got Uncharted Drake's Fortune.
Now, when did PS3 come out?
06.
Okay.
And the 360 came out in 05.
Okay.
We also got Assassin's Creed, which also came out on the 360, obviously. Modern Warfare. Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, I should say. Also came out on 360 PC and apparently came out on the DS. I didn't know that. That's weird. Guitar Hero 3, the best Guitar Hero.
Yep.
Came out that year. Rock Band came out that year. And I had to throw this in there, the Metal Gear Solid HD collection. Xbox 360 exclusives. Halo 3. BioShock, which I forgot that was an Xbox exclusive for like a year or so. I don't know why I wrote Rock Band twice. Mass Effect started. That's huge. Forza 2, we don't care about racing games. On the Wii, we got Super Mario Galaxy, Metroid Prime 3, Mario Party 8, Super Paper Mario, whatever. The PlayStation 2 was still kicking. God of War 2 somehow came out on the PlayStation 2. They pushed that thing to the limits. PC, Portal came out. That also came out to the 360 and the PS3. Pokemon Diamond and Pearl came out. Zelda Phantom Hourglass and Contra 4. This feels like a very good year, but not a great year.
This is where I'm going to have... Because I can already see it happening. Well, it hasn't really... You had some Halos, and now we're getting into Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
You've got like Forza, which I never played.
Yeah.
It's a lot of games that I'm just like... Plus, this is also when I started really kind of...
This is when you fell out.
Yeah, like there wasn't a whole lot. This is my Wii phase, really.
Yep.
And even then, it was really only a handful of games that I was playing.
I don't think it cracks the top 3.
I don't think so.
Good year, not great.
Yeah.
Portal, I've still never played, and that's a big, big, big blind spot for me. I got to get the orange box on my PS3. I need to get that.
Yeah.
Just mainly so I have a way to play Half-Life 2. I'd like to play it on PS3. All right, I think we can move on from that one.
Yeah.
All right, 2011, the Nintendo 3DS was released. PS3. So let's see. We got, this also came out on 360 and PC. We got Batman Arkham City, to me, still the best Arkham game. Modern Warfare 3 came out. Not the best Modern Warfare, but it came out nonetheless. So there was a lot of threes this year. Modern Warfare 3, Uncharted 3, Resistance 3, Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Holy crap, they keep going. Killzone 3. Then we got Dark Souls came out. Infamous 2 was a PlayStation exclusive. L.A. Noire. Catherine. God of War Origins. I like that collection. There were no notable, that I could find, Xbox 360 exclusives. PC, however, Skyrim. Also came out on the PS3 and 360 later that year, I believe. Portal 2 came out in 2011 as well. Skyward Sword, as we talked about last week. And on the 3DS, Ocarina of Time 3D, Super Mario 3D Land, Mario Kart 7, and Star Fox 64 3D. Another good year. My favorite Batman game, not my favorite Modern Warfare. I never played Resistance 3. I liked 1 and 2. I never got to 3. I didn't play Killzone. I won't play Dark Souls. Skyrim is Skyrim. I get it. Portal 2 is maybe even better than Portal 1. Skyward Sword, I don't know what to think about it.
Wait, what is MVC?
Marvel vs.
Marvel vs.
Capcom 3,
Capcom.
yeah.
Okay.
Ocarina of Time 3D, the best way to play Ocarina.
See, now this is exactly what I'm talking about, because now we're getting into Modern Warfare,
All the
Resistance, Killzone. We're getting into all these just first-person shooters that I'm just like, ugh, enough already.
Yeah, I don't think this places.
Even though Ocarina of Time 3D, like you said, it is the way to play my favorite game of all time.
Yep.
It doesn't carry the weight that, the original had. Zelda Skyward Sword, good. Skyrim, super like very important game.
Still
That
getting
game just
remade to this day,
took
8 years
off.
later.
I don't know. I don't think this makes it. It's a good year, but
Yep.
nothing. There's nothing like epic to me from this year.
I agree. So
There's
I don't
a lot,
think it
but
makes,
nothing.
So what are we at now then?
98,
98,
91, 04.
04. Okay. 2013 next gen hits home. Hardware, we had the PlayStation 4, the Xbone, and actually the Nintendo 2DS came out that year. PS4, the big exclusive they had at launch was Resogun, one of my top 75 games of all time. That game is just pure fun. Every once in a while, I'll either pull it up on my Vita or my PS4 and just play. It's just so much fun. It's just so much arcade shooter, stupid chasing high scores fun.
Yeah.
But 2013 was a crazy year. Now, this is where I think we might have a challenger to those top three. The Last of Us, Grand Theft Auto 5, BioShock Infinite, Rising, Revengeance came out that year, God of War Ascension. Personally, I like the game. It's not the best God of War. It got way too much hate because it was just the same thing over and over again. But if it didn't get all the hate, we never would have got God of War 2018. Guacamelee came out. It also came out on the Vita. The Metal Gear Solid Legacy Collection. I had to put that in there. DuckTales Remastered came out that year. Shout out to DuckTales Remastered. Yeah. Arkham Origins gets a bad rap. Assassin's Creed Black Flag was fine. Gran Turismo 6. Link Between Worlds. New Super Luigi U. Wind Waker HD. Dota 2, as much as I don't care about that. And Gone Home also came out that year, and I you know my thoughts on that by now. So the heavy hitters for 2013 are obviously our second favorite system ever came out.
Yep.
Along with the Xbone. The Last of Us, one of the best games ever made. Grand Theft Auto 5, I've put 375 something hours into it. We're still playing it to this day, almost 6 years later. Link Between Worlds, freaking perfect. So this year comes down to the hardware releases, Link Between Worlds, Last of Us, Grand Theft Auto 5.
So here's the thing. I think this is top 3 for sure. And
Yep.
I'm wondering if maybe it goes to number 2.
Okay.
Now, this is pitting PS4 versus Super Nintendo. And that's what it comes down to. And I mean, you've got The Last of Us, GTA 5, which seems like it was longer than 6 years ago. It seems like it's been out forever, but I mean,
But it also kind of seems like it was yesterday.
and it's still like
Right.
fresh. Like it's crazy. But to me, there's not a lot of heavy hitters here. There's a lot of good,
really
games.
good games, but yeah.
But the ones that stand out to me, GTA 5, obviously.
Yep.
To a lesser extent, The Last of Us.
Yep.
I mean, and Link Between Worlds. I'm trying to think if that was in my top 10. It's at least top 15.
Yeah. I didn't put it in mine because I'm like, my list is just going to be
it's
Metal Gear
also
and
just
Zelda games.
PS4.
Yeah.
And as much as you can hate, also Xbone.
Yep.
I think it's at least number 3. You could maybe make a case that it moves up to 2.
All right. So what is so it's this versus 91.
Yeah.
So 91 was the Super Nintendo coming out, Mario World, Sonic, Street Fighter 2, Turtles in Time. I think this might. 2013 is a really, really, really good year.
So here's the thing. I'm looking at, let's say, I'm fine to call the PS4 and the Super Nintendo a wash.
Okay.
At least for the purposes of this argument.
Yep.
Now, one thing the PS4 has that the Super Nintendo didn't, at least not in the same year, was an Xbox competition.
Right.
You got Xbox and PS4 in the same year. Even though the Xbox means nothing to me, it's obviously huge. So, Super Mario World. God, there wasn't a whole lot in 91.
No.
But they were good. It's really the Super Nintendo. Super Mario World, Sonic, Street Fighter 2.
Versus Last of Us, GTA 5, Link Between Worlds.
I think this is number 2.
I think it is.
And you got the PS4 and the Xbox One. You got GTA 5, and you've got easily a top 5 Zelda game. Maybe top 3. I don't know. Top 5 Zelda game.
I put more hours into GTA 5 than any game I have in my entire life.
Yeah.
I think it's
I mean, you got PS4 and Xbox here. I think this is number 2.
Okay.
So 04,
yep, I agree.
04 gets the boot.
So it's 98, 13, 91 right now. We may have a challenger to the throne. A new challenger has entered the arena, and its name is 2015. The new 3DS came out that year. Fine, whatever. But this was a crazy year. This started the streak of 2016. I didn't include it in here because it was really like it was Overwatch and Uncharted, and that was really it. I thought in my mind, I think of 2016 as being better than that, but it really wasn't. Yeah. So it's 25. It's 15, 17, 18. Is any of them going to take 98 down? 2015, we got Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. We got The Witcher 3. We got Arkham Knight, which I have my thoughts on. Rocket League came out. It was a freaking awesome game. Fallout 4. Battlefront came out. Just Cause 3 was whatever. Don't even think about it. I don't know why that's in there. Axiom Verge, fantastic game. The X-Bone got Halo 5 and Ori and the Blind Forest. 3DS got Majora's Mask 3D. Triforce Heroes also came out the same year. I didn't realize that. The Wii U on its last legs got Super Mario Maker. Xenoblade Chronicles X are in there too. A lot of people love that game. I feel like I can't properly judge 15 because I haven't played The Witcher 3. I think if I had put 100 hours in Witcher 3 and it was one of my top 10 games ever, this might knock 98. It would have a chance at 98 because of the sheer power of Metal Gear Solid 5 and Witcher 3.
I'm going to need some selling here because I'm not seeing new 3DS, whatever. 3DS,
whatever.
It's just a bigger system. Majora's Mask 3D, it's been done, it's whatever. Mario Maker, okay.
Yep.
That game was a lot of fun. Metal Gear Solid 5, obviously.
Yep.
Witcher 3 and Rocket League, both games that get a lot of praise. Rocket League was fun, but after like 5 matches, I was like, okay, I've seen what this game is. Like, it was a lot of fun that first time I played it, and then it was like, okay, this is just...
It's still going.
It's nothing ever changes. Witcher 3, I think it's a game that I could get into. It may be something I need to give another shot someday, but...
For me, this year is more... It's Metal Gear Solid 5, obviously, but then it's what everybody says The Witcher 3... Well, I mean, Metal Gear Solid 5, my game of the year that year, it didn't hardly win any Game of the Year awards because Witcher 3 won everything.
Yeah.
And Fallout 4, people freaking loved Fallout 4.
Well, so here's the thing. We probably should have established this
No, I know
almost
what you're
30
gonna say.
years ago.
Oh,
Is this
okay.
our favorite year of gaming or the best?
It's ours.
Widely accepted.
You're right. You're right. It's ours.
Because that makes a difference. And for
Then
me...
15 isn't up there because it's just Metal Gear.
For me, I don't think it...
And Mario... No offense, Mario Maker. No offense.
I don't know that it makes the top 3.
No, I agree.
I
That's
think
true.
it could. If I gave Witcher 3 its fair shot,
Exactly.
and
Me
if you
too.
get around to playing it, maybe.
I don't think it knocks off 98, though.
No.
Like the best it could do would be 2. But I still don't,
The
I don't think
absolute
it
best,
knocks off 98. Yeah.
But does it knock off 91? Does it make top 3?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
It's not far away, but I don't think there's enough there.
No. When I'm looking over these, if it all comes down to that we haven't played Witcher 3 enough.
Yeah.
You've at least tried it. I haven't even turned it on yet.
Right.
Okay. Nope. It's our list.
Yeah.
It's not on there.
All right. 98, 13, 91. Still top 3. We got 2 years to go.
13, 91. 2017. Man. Oh, man. Okay. The Switch obviously came out. The Xbox One X came out. And the Super Nintendo Classic came out as well. Switch. You can't have a better first year than the Switch did. Breath of the Wild. Mario Odyssey. Not my favorite game, but people love the game. The best Mario Kart game that ever came out. And Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Ultra Street Fighter 2. Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, Xenoblade Chronicles, whatever. PS4 got Horizon Zero Dawn. We also that year got Resident Evil 7, which is crazy that came out that year as well. Persona 5 came out that year. Doesn't mean a lot to us. Destiny 2 came out that year. Assassin's Creed Origins. Wolfenstein 2. What Remains of Edith Finch. Phenomenal game. Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice, which I've still got to play. Sonic Mania. Uncharted The Lost Legacy. Cuphead. Hollow Knight came out on PC. I'm not even going to say Forza 7 because there's no point in putting it there. And Metroid Samus Returns. This is a freaking year. This is a year. I think this jumps up to number 2, and I could hear an argument for number 1. When you've got a year where Breath of the Wild and Horizon come out and Resident Evil, This is up there. This is up there. So
it's our list. We can do whatever we want.
Yep.
Where I struggle, not that it's going to sway it too much, but it could help. Hollow Knight came out on PC.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't play it until the Switch. Does 2017 get credit for me playing Hollow Knight?
Yes, I would say so because it's the same game. I would say it gets the credit. Yeah.
So, Samus Returns,
Phenomenal.
Great game.
Yep.
Hollow Knight, great game. Cuphead, haven't even played it, but I know it's a great game.
Cannot wait. Oh, I can't wait.
Sonic Mania, great game. Edith Finch, great game. Resident Evil 7, just something else altogether. Horizon, Breath of the Wild. To a lot of people, Odyssey. I can respect that. Ultra Street Fighter 2, I'm not sure. It's not my favorite Street Fighter game, to be perfectly honest. If 4's up there, like I'm trying to think. I know I loved this game. Did this game have...
This was Violent Ken.
So, okay, that's right. And so it has super moves and all that, right?
Yes. This is the one where you could switch between the new graphics and the old, yeah.
That may be my favorite Street Fighter game. It's either that or 4. 4 got a little overloaded with a bunch of people that I don't care about.
I just want Ryu and Ken and all the other people, whatever, yeah.
Now, if I could play that on the PS4, that would help.
Right.
Playing on
with
the Switch,
the D-pad,
it's not the best, but it still may be my favorite Street Fighter game.
That's why I had to put it in there.
Mario Kart is Mario Kart. That's the best Mario Kart game.
Yep.
Breath of the Wild is just... it's Breath of the Wild. You got the Switch. Pretty good first couple years. I mean, amazing first couple years for it. Still not a lot of big time, AAA releases for the Switch. Switch has been all coming strong with like indie games. Yep. Gosh, that's at least number 3. I got to look back at 13 now.
I think it might be number 2. I mean, it's.
This goes. Yeah, I think this is number 2.
I think this is number 2.
Now, do we need to look at it as number 1?
Well, that's what I'm saying. So 98.
All right, so 91's out.
91's out. 98. Ocarina of Time, Metal Gear Solid, Half-Life, Resident Evil 2. Damn. I don't know, man. I don't know.
We may have a new champ.
2017 is freaking nuts, and 2018 is... It's not just recency biased. Recency bias. These last 2 years in video games have arguably been some of the best years ever. Okay, so let's break this down. Breath of the Wild, you've got Ocarina head to head. You prefer Ocarina slightly because it's your favorite game of all time.
Yeah.
I think I probably... Well, no, I didn't have Ocarina in my top 10. That's tough. I think I actually prefer Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild was just such a moment in time, just an amazing... And then there's Horizon Zero Dawn. Next to God of War, my favorite PS4 exclusive, just behind Breath of the Wild. Resident Evil 7, like you said, it's like nothing I could have ever even imagined. This is tough. And the SNES Classic came out that year too, just to top it all
I
off.
forgot about that. Yeah.
Odyssey was fun for my 15 hours. I don't ever need to play it again, but it was a lot of fun. Ultra Street Fighter 2 was so much fun. It's the best Mario Kart ever came out that year.
I mean, the best. Well, possibly the best Sonic game.
No, the best. Oh, I didn't even. Yeah, Sonic Mania came out that year too.
You think it is the best? I think.
Yes.
Yeah, it's got to be.
It's the best. Uncharted was okay. It was good, not great. Cuphead. I wish I played Cuphead. Hellblade. I've got it on my wish list. Whenever it goes on sale, I'm going to play it. Edith Finch. It was just behind Firewatch for my favorite walking simulator.
Yeah. I think we have a new champ.
Oh my gosh.
I think it's number one.
I think it is too. Especially when you combine the hardware release with the Switch coming out that year with the best launch title that's ever been made in Breath of the Wild. My favorite 3D Mario, which isn't saying much because this is the only one I've played. Horizon Zero Dawn, Resident Evil 7. I think this is number one. It's like I don't want to say it because I feel like I shouldn't. But like
it's like I don't want to knock my number one game of all time from the number one year, but I think this is the better year overall.
A Metal Gear didn't come out that year. Wait.
No,
Survive was
Survive.
18. It was 18.
It was 18.
I think it's number one.
I think so.
All right. It's number one. Oh, man. It feels so weird to say that. Okay. So now we've got 17, 98, 13.
13.
All right. The last one on the list, 2018. God of War. Man. Spider-Man. Red Dead. Celeste. Tetris Effect. Astrobot. Monster Hunter World. We didn't care about it. A lot of people liked it. Detroit Become Human. I don't want to play that game. Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I love it. But the fact that I'm probably never going to go back and beat it should tell you something.
Yep.
Smash Ultimate. By far my favorite Smash game that ever came out. Not even close. The Messenger came out last year. One of my favorite Metroidvanias. Octopath Traveler, it's freaking beautiful. I wish I could play that game. I wish I knew how to play it. I just can't, and I don't. This year is...
This weighs heavily on God of War and Spider-Man.
This is God of War and Spider-Man for us.
Red Dead,
and
if that's your
Red
thing.
Dead for what it
but
is,
for
right?
us, not really. Smash kind of came and went. It's definitely my favorite, and it's fun,
Yep.
but it's kind of... And then The Messenger's awesome. I think it's 3 at best. 13 was
God of War.
13's GTA 5, Last of Us,
Oh, man.
Link Between Worlds.
I mean, God of War is my third favorite game of all time. Spider-Man was freaking way better than I even thought it could be. But that's it. When I break it down, it's those two games.
Yeah. I don't think it knocks 13 out.
I don't
But I
think
think
it does either.
it could very well be 4.
It could be fourth or fifth.
This would
for
be
sure.
impossible if we tried to rank all of them. I mean,
Yeah.
it would be impossible.
Yeah.
But no, I think the top 3 is set.
Ladies and gentlemen, the top 3 video game years of all time are 2000. Well, I don't even remember.
2017.
2017, followed by 98. Put your pitchforks away. Followed by 2013. So yeah, 2017 is the best year ever for video games.
To me, I mean, 2013 makes sense. But off the top of my head, I wouldn't have thought it would have been up there. Like 98, I thought 98 would have won, but then I forgot how crazy 17 was. But then 13, like, I mean, you look at it and it's like, that was a crazy year. But like, I kind of just forgot about it.
For some reason in my head, Last of Us didn't come out that year, and neither did GTA. No, GTA I do associate with 2013. For some reason, I guess because I didn't play The Last of Us until PS4.
Right.
Maybe that's why I think of it coming out in 15, I think. I think it was 2015 that they put it out on PS4.
Yeah.
There's a new champ.
Yeah. I wouldn't have thought so, but
I didn't think so either. When we got to 98 and just those 3 games, Ocarina, Metal Gear, Half-Life, I was like, I don't think anybody can top this. And then 2017 is special.
And we haven't even played Cuphead.
Right. Which if we had played that, we were like, I know this game kicks my ass.
Persona 5 people love.
Yes.
Not really for me.
No,
Destiny
the best
2,
Persona game.
again, not for me.
I enjoyed my time with it. I do actually want to go back and beat that. I think it'd be fun to just go back into it.
Yeah.
Edith Finch, phenomenal. Hellblade was some people's game of the year that year, and I haven't even gotten to play that yet. The best Sonic game and a good Uncharted game. That's a phenomenal year.
Yep. No, I'm fine with it.
All right,
that's number 1.
2017 is the new best year ever for video games. Hit that comment section below. Let us know what you guys think. What is the best year ever for video games? Did we get it right, or is 98 still the grand champion? Whatever. I don't know what I would call it. This has been fun. This has been a good one.
I like that a lot.
I like it, Raymond. We're not gonna know it. We're not gonna do a Did You Know this week because we
did a couple during it.
Yeah, we did 3DO. I should have done more research. So that's it for episode 131. Thank you guys so much for being here. This was a lot of fun. I'm glad we finally did this. Obviously, you can find us at nerd901.com. Go check out Ernie. Check out what everybody else is doing over there. Everybody's doing great work. You can find us on Twitter. I'm at KevinWhite24. He's at Real Sean White. Together, we're at 2player_co-op. You can find us on Twitch at twitch.tv/2player_co-op. If you're listening on audio services, make sure you go over to youtube.com/2playercoop and hit the subscribe button there to help us on our quest to get to 1,000 subs. If you like audio, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Google, Spotify, Stitcher, and other audio services around the world. This has been a fun episode.
Yeah. I enjoyed that immensely.
Any closing thoughts?
Excuse me.
RIP 1998 is what that meant.
Yep.
Thank you guys so much for being here. But until episode 132, Sean, go ahead and take us out.
Thank you for playing.